Canada is getting ready for something big. Next year, the FIFA Women's World Cup will come to town, and Ottawa recently hosted the draw for the 24-team event. It's something for which the country has been preparing for quite some time. Earlier this year, Canada hosted a very successful under-20 version of the tournament. Germany overcame the African champions Nigeria in the final to be crowned champions for the third time. But more importantly, the event gave everyone a glimpse into what can be expected next year, when the senior competition rolls into town.
From our perspective off the field, we've had tremendous spectator support in all four venues. The television audiences have been very good. And I think the customer experience even of the fans in the stadium has been at a high level. And I know even the feedback we've gotten from the team managers, team coaches, and even the players has been excellent in terms of their experience in the four venues, which just shows us how welcoming our country has always been. And I think we can build upon that.
Victor Montagliani is president of the Canadian Soccer Association, the body responsible for staging the 7th FIFA Women's World Cup. As hosts, and after winning Olympic bronze under coach John Herdman, they hope their team will do well.
If I take the words out of my coach's mouth, his expectation is that on July the 6th, when the Women's World Cup final is in Vancouver, that Canada will be one of the teams playing in the final. And I think that's a statement in itself from a Canadian perspective. We're not really known to be out there making those kind of predictions, but I think it shows the investment we've made in the game as a federation, as a country, by our membership as well. And I think it also shows, why we hired John in the first place.
Canada has plenty of experience of this sort of competition. They've hosted 4 FIFA age group events since 1987. And those tournaments have left legacies, such as the upgraded TD Place in Ottawa and the establishment of Toronto's National Stadium in 2007.
One of the legacies is not only going to be the investment that has been made in the stadiums to upgrade them, the existing ones, but also in the training fields, and which will be a legacy back to the soccer community in those respective venues, where they'll have, FIFA 2-star turf at the highest level back into the community.
The FIFA Women's World Cup has been expanded to 24 teams and will be staged in 6 cities from coast to coast. The under-20 event, with only 16 teams, was a good test for the host nation. But next year's challenges will be far more complex.
This tournament next year really transcends the gender. I know it's the Women's World Cup, but it really, for us in this country, because of the uniqueness of Canada, how we look at the game, this is about football next year. It's not just about women footballers, it's about football.
Canadian soccer has grown steadily over the last 2 decades and is now part of the national fabric. And who knows, if the country can successfully stage a senior FIFA event for the first time, they might be looking to attract the biggest prize of all.
As a federation, we have set very high goals in our strategic plan that we launched earlier this year. And one of the things that we've put in our strategic plan was actually, trying to bid for a Men's World Cup. And the reason being is that two main reasons. One, obviously, we know what the tournament means to everybody in the world, but Canada is the only G8 country in the world that hasn't hosted a World Cup, Men's World Cup. And as well, I think the time has come for a country like ours that has given so much to the world, actually, in a lot of ways, that maybe it's time for us to get something back.
Meanwhile, this is how the draw for next year turned out. Canada topped Group A, with China the biggest potential danger. Germany and Norway, both previous winners, are in Group B, along with first-time qualifiers Ivory Coast and Thailand. Holders Japan come up against Switzerland, Cameroon and Ecuador in Group C, while the group of death is arguably D, featuring as it does the 2-time winners USA, Sweden, African champions Nigeria and Australia. Brazil, Korea and Spain contest a very even Group E, while France and England will be looking to progress from Group F, where their rivals are Colombia and Mexico. It all kicks off on June the 6th, when Canada face China in Edmonton.